How's it going, everyone? It's Abdallah here, bringing you guys more gameplay footage of Yokai Watch 4 on Nintendo Switch. We're going to give you guys gameplay of Chapter 1, courtesy of Hikakin Games and Level 5. In case you guys are not subscribed to them, click right over there on the top of the screen with that little info card, and you guys can check them out. Likewise, the source is going to be linked in the description below. So, Level 5 invited them over or brought dev kits over to their place, and they were able to play through the very beginning of the game. So there's tons of brand new information. So I want you guys to stick around to the very end because there may be a very cool surprise there. So I'm excited for it. As you guys know, we've been talking about Yokai Watch 4 ever since it was announced, and we're going to be playing this game as soon as it comes out later on in the month. I want you guys all on board, so make sure you guys are all subscribed, hit that like button, and turn on notifications. Without further ado, let's jump on into it, shall we? Alright, so here we go. As you guys can see, we got an interesting title screen. It shows everyone that you can possibly see. And now it's going to go into the character select screen. And from this, you're going to be able to see Nate is over here. And of course, you can nickname him whatever you want. So it's pretty great. And there's 8 characters on board, so I can easily name him Abdallah if I wanted to. So very excited for that. Now, moving on. With this gameplay, you can see that he goes, yeah, awesome, cool, right? And next up, you have Katie. So Katie's going to be one of the other watchers in the game, as we've learned from different news sites. And you can go ahead and nickname Katie as well. Let me know in the comments what you guys are going to name these 2 characters. Are you going to stick with Nate and Katie? Are you going to put your name? If your name is Katie, are you going to keep it Katie? If your name is Nate, you're going to keep it that way? Anyway. So the graphics and this little beginning screen look actually pretty good. And as soon as you're done with that, Whisper comes on board with Jibanyan. And then now we're going to show some pretty cool cutscene. This is the opening cutscene with, we talked about this gigantic like life form thing. He's available in Yokai Watch Puni. And you can see Lord Enma over here and Zazzle. And Enma's just going with the Enma blade, going right for the eye. And you can see that all these different spears are going at him, and he's like slicing through. It just looks really good. Now, the entirety of this video is going to be muted, just so that there's no copyright claims or infringements on that. We're just going to be narrating what we see. And this is great. So we can see that he got caught, and then he's going to go into his Enma Awoken form and start tossing some electro balls at him, man. This is pretty cool. So we've seen this Soultimate before, where he uses this beam. But of course, this thing like freezes time and is just able to do whatever he needs to. So this is most likely going to be the final boss in the game. So pretty excited about that. He turns Enma to stone, and then Zazzle just gets freaked out about this. Like, what are you even going to do? Like, what's going on? So that's pretty great. I think it's just awesome that, you know, we've come to know that Lord Enma is like the strongest being, but like this gigantic eyeball in the sky can easily stop time, turn people to stone, and just like blast them away. Like, oh, Zazzle, I don't feel so good. Right? Anyway, Yokai Watch 4, so that's the intro screen over there. So now we're in Springdale, and you guys can see Whisper over there. This is Chapter 1. It's called The Haunted. I like that there's a little bit of English sprinkled through, especially for those of you guys who don't speak Japanese or you're not able to read it. I want you guys to still get this game and play along with. It's going to be awesome, and don't worry, you guys can play along with my gameplay when you guys are watching the YouTube videos when we do the game live. So, anyway, we can see Nate, Jibanyan, looks like a little comic book over there. Yeah, they're just hanging out. They're just taking a nap. They're just shooting the breeze. You know what I mean? So this is looking good. Like, you can see the graphics. You can see everything in like 3D textures. You'll also be able to see, I think, yeah, you can still see Buck. You can see Nate and Buck over there from Yokai Watch 3 on his little bulletin board if you take a look really closely. So there's a little Easter egg over there. And who knows, there may be some more hidden Easter eggs within Yokai Watch 3 that you guys can uncover a little bit later on when the game comes out. Wink, wink. Anyway. So, yeah, this looks pretty good. This is pretty much just saying, hey, you can run, you can move around and look all over the entire house. So we've kind of seen this gameplay before, where Nate's just kind of walking around barefoot in his house, and then Nate's mom is over there. And this is going to be one of your first quests in the game, where the mom, Nate's mom, actually wants you to go to the Every Mart and pick up some groceries. So that's pretty great. So exactly what you're going to be doing is walking out there, kind of exploring around, and you may come across a particular yokai that you're very familiar with in the Everymart, which is what we've seen in the previous builds. So excited for that. We got Whisper Jibanyan just hanging out over there on the couch, and of course we're going to get a little bit more information of what your mom kind of wants you to do. So not a big deal. So moving around, it shows that you have a yokai pad over here with different functionalities on there. Your items, your yokai, you can save. There's a help, there's settings, and then of course your medallion. So there's lots of different things that are going to be, you know, in the game like we've already gotten used to. And then of course there's a hotbar on the lower right. So this is saying Sakura Newtown. Cool. I mean, that's Springdale, what we know in the localized version. So that's really great. So you guys can see over here that, yeah, the hotbar shows, I want to say that that's going to be saving, an option to save. If you press right on there, it shows like a little diary and it shows like a pencil on there. So maybe that's how you're going to be able to do it. Typically, I would think that it would be like pressing the plus or minus button to access the menu, but who knows? I couldn't really tell you on that one. And then you could also see the different NPCs. You can see where exactly the pointer is pointing at. Like you got a little flashing green icon, which shows you exactly where you need to go. So that's awesome. All right, so now they're going to quick cut right over to the interior of the Everymart. You can see all the rice balls. Like, this is really well done. Like, all the textures are there. And then, of course, we're going to grab some eggs and milk. And then we're also going to grab some popsicle. So that's cool, right? Eggs, milk, popsicle. You get a little something for yourself when you're going to run some errands. And then you guys can see over here that it says food, salad. So there's a little bit of English sprinkled throughout the game. I mean, is that important for us to know food, salad, drinks? No, it's not. I'd much rather know what like everyone's talking about. But regardless, Whisper gets inspirited, and who else to inspirit Whisper other than a certain old man yokai that we've seen that hangs out by the Everymarts. So anyway, he just punches Nate and flies the heck out of there. So Nate is pretty flabbergasted about that. So we're going to head on out and we're going to see what's up. So right over here, if you take a look, they kind of zoom in to the exclamation mark. So the game is guiding you where you need to go. Again, if you're not a native Japanese speaker, you're going to be fine playing this game. Get it? Play along with me. So anyway, Whisper's right over here. He's inspirited. You can see that by the purple aura around him. And now it's just more along the lines of pressing ZL. If you press ZL on your Nintendo Switch Pro controller, you're going to bust out the little watch, the yokai watch, where you can kind of see what's going on. So you can see that Hungramps comes out, inspiriting Whisper, and now we're going to show you guys one of the very first battles in the game. And if you guys have been paying attention to the pre-beta footage, we remember our first battle with Hungramps was where Nate takes his fist and he's like pounding on this guy with like haymakers and stuff like that. It's going to be a little bit different in this final build, so I'm super excited. What we have over here is the summoning for Jibanyan. It's just exactly like the anime, so if you guys have paid attention to any of the anime, or if you enjoyed Yokai Watch 1 or 2, the gameplay, it's exactly like that. So really excited. So he summons out Jibanyan, and it's interesting because you're not recreating the befriending Jibanyan concept. You already have Jibanyan's Yokai Watch medal at the beginning of this chapter. Of course, this may not be the final build. I'm not sure if they're going to add that. But typically in the games, like, you have to go befriend him and he joins you. So anyway, right over here is the battle sequence. Now, what I want you guys to pay attention to is how Nate, as a watcher, is going to battle along with. Now, he's good, but now he's better because he has access to his little toy hammer, which we've seen in Zombie Night, and of course we've seen in some other cutscene material. We've also seen it in the Koro scans, so yeah, that's pretty interesting. So every time you press the Y button on the Nintendo Switch controller, you're going to be hitting them, and of course using your Y points too. So that's another interesting thing that they changed up. Every time you do an attack like that, you're using a little bit of your Y points. So your Y point gauge is pretty much depleting as you use it. So then you're going to be forced to absorb some more. Right over here is, once you're done with the battle, you're going to get 3 experience points and a little bit of money. And they've got these cute little sprites. So feel free to pause the video, go take a look at that. But we'll show some more cute sprites a little bit later on in the game. So I want to say that every single yokai and every single watcher are going to be digitized in sprite form. And that's going to be so cute. I can't wait to see it. But anyway, now that they've knocked out the Hungramps, they're going to continue on with whatever they had. So that was great. So now you walk all the way back to your house, which was also navigated. You can take a look over here at the mom. The mom says, thanks for bringing the eggs, all that stuff. And then we're ultimately going to hand over the items. And that's kind of like the mini quest of what you have to do in this game. It's just going to point A, doing whatever quest it is over there, and then they're going to give you point B, and then you move over to there. So that's kind of what Yokai Watch is. And I love the fact that level 5 is able to do that and make it accessible for those of us who don't speak Japanese. So anyway, they're going to take a look right outside, and our next quest is going to be involving finding Katie. Nate is over here trying to, play around, hang out with some friends, and we're going to be looking for Katie specifically. Now, Katie's acting a little weird, not really sure why. You can see Katie's like looking interesting, like she's got this face that's not really expressions, it's expressionless. So anyway, it looks really creepy. But anyway, you can see that Nate is over here blushing, but there's something going on. And what do you guys think might happen? If you guys saw the Koro scans, then you know exactly what's up over here. So anyway, so Katie's here. You guys can see that she's looking a little weird. The facial expressions are a little interesting. Like, Nate is very expressive, but Katie not so much. I don't know if that's like a design choice, an oversight, or what, but anyway. So she's being inspirited right now, or it's going to be something else. Dun, dun, dun. All right, let's take a look. Here we go. The big reveal. What's going on with her? And then, of course, Whisper's probably, like, teasing Nate about that, because Nate has a big crush on Katie, and we will, I guess, I don't think it's spoilers if we talk about how, like, Nate and Katie eventually get together and have some kids, right? That's part of the storyline. You're supposed to know that. No, I'm not going to say any spoilers on that one. That's exactly, it's common knowledge now. Anyway, so here's Katie looking pretty distraught, but yet she still has the little sparkles on there. And now, let's see what happens. Okay, so yeah, he's totally getting rocked. Okay, weird. Like, 1 second Katie's like all happy looking and then inspirited. Like, there's a lot of different effects over here, and of course, learning exactly what they're saying would be helpful too. So we're gonna investigate Katie and see what exactly is going on. And nonetheless, after you're done scanning with the L button, you can see that it wasn't necessarily Katie at the same time. So that's why Katie was acting all weird and Nate was acting kind of weird. And it was just a Mimikin. So Mimikin was impersonating Katie for some odd reason. I don't know. We're going to have to find out. But yeah, so there's Mimikin. Great. Not the creepiest yokai ever. We could see his nice shorts there. Pretty cool looking, right? So Mimikin runs away, and then Whisper is pretty much saying, all right, well, we still have to find Katie, so let's go and do that. So hence the whole, like, speed lines, and now we're going to continue on the quest to find her, right? Just moving on. Time to find Katie, right? All right, so this is pretty cool. If you take a look, there's going to be items on the floor. You can press the A button and pick it up. He picks up an apple times 1. So he picks up 1 apple. Now, this can kind of either say, okay, what is the apple for? We've never really seen apples. And this is a choco bar that you're just finding on the floor. Are these going to be health restoring items, or is the yokai, like if you go into a wild yokai battle, are these the food items that you're going to be using in order to help befriend them? It's not confirmed whether or not the whole, like, absorbing souls thing is the only way to get yokai. So we're kind of up in the air at this point. But there's tons of little items on the ground, and you can see them with these little starbursts. And I like that. And you can also see over here, like, this is the sewer area. I remember from Yokai Watch 1 where you're going to enter the sewers. And if you look behind Katie over there, you can see that the sewer's boarded up. So probably it'll be open in the full build. But anyway, so we find Katie over here by the lake or by the river. And we're pretty much able to go over here and see exactly what's up with her. But of course, just when you think that it is actually Katie, it may not be. So kind of like what we were talking about, I'm excited and very curious to see what befriending's like in this game. you're already able to pick up an apple and a choco bar, but I don't know if that's not necessarily going to be items that are going to heal you in battle, or you're just going to toss them at the beginning. But anyway, you guys can see over here that it is Mimikin, and Mimikin is not really, yeah, he's just kind of trolling us right now, and he runs away. So that's like strike 2 for Nate. Like, where the heck is Katie? Like, what's the deal? So, anywho, I'd really like to take a look at wild battles, but in this gameplay footage, there wasn't any wild battles. So it was just all storyline stuff. So you guys can see over here that we're able to jump over stuff, which is great. I remember in the previous games, you had to completely go around. Now we're going to cut over to the actual Springdale Elementary School, and you can see Katie over here. So this is good, right? This is the real Katie at the elementary school, right? You got to bring us a Slimamander somehow. Anyway, yeah, Slimamander's always hanging out by the school, and then of course you've got Gutsy Bones too, but we're not going to see any Gutsy Bones footage. That'd be pretty great, but... Alright, so Katie, again, is going to be a Mimikin, maybe? Yes? Oh, okay, great. Alright, we're done with this. I'm kind of done. Excellent. Good job. Way to go, Mimikin. Alright, trolling us for the 3rd time, and so if this keeps on being Mimikin, then where the heck is Katie, right? So now we actually get to fight Mimikin, and you guys can see that Jibanyan is on auto battle because that's your yokai that you're using, and you're controlling the Watcher simply by moving around, dodging, and then of course you guys can see that they depleted all of their Y points and therefore have to absorb some simply by doing that, and then you get more hammer attacks going. So you can't just keep on spamming that if you're a Watcher though. But the damage is only like... There's a little bit of RNG involved. It's not always like 3 damage, 3 damage, 3 damage. We saw it, there was 2 damage, sometimes 4 damage. So there's a little bit of min-max on that. So I do appreciate that. I think that's really cool. So now that we've beaten him up, I think Katie actually comes out now. And I don't know. I just feel like the facial expression on Katie... wait, what? Yeah, I don't really know what's going on. I felt the facial expression on that particular Katie seemed not so great. Like, Nate is very expressive, Whisper's expressive, Jibanyan is, or maybe it's just because that's kind of like a Mimikin. I don't know, but Mimikin was doing his own thing, so. So, anyway, the graphics look pretty good, like I said earlier, so that's the real Katie. I think that's the real Katie that comes out over here. Saying like, yo, what the heck, what are you doing over there? So he's kind of, dazed, stunned. I just want more expressions on Katie's face. Like, the whole, like, straight line mouth thing, I don't know about that. So, anyway, yeah. So, that's pretty interesting. So, Whisper is busting out the yokai pad, looking cool, like he usually does, talking to us about maybe some Mimikin stuff. The players go past some items off the ground, not really sure what's going on with that. I'd pick up everything if this was the demo just to see what the heck it was. And now we get a 3D render of Ipo. It looks pretty interesting, like a floating eyeball, right? It looks like a 3D sphere, so I think that's pretty interesting there. So of course, Ipo, in case you guys have not played the previous games, that's where you're able to save and then heal. So as soon as he touched on the Ipo, you're able to heal all of your health and of course your Y points too. So you're gonna be fresh for the next battle. So the next marker is showing that you have to go over to Mount Wildwood, and of course there's a NPC grandma over here you can talk to, but I mean, again, there's really no point in talking to some NPCs because they're just there for flavor. And of course, making the game look a little bit better. But anyway, once you use the L button over here, you can see that there is indeed another yokai nearby, and of course it is your flagship yokai, Hydabat. So excited about that. So it's going to be Hydabat over here. I don't know what's going on with him, but just fell down. So Hydabat is going to be an auto befriend, and you're pretty much building up the Blasters team at the very beginning because you have Whisper, and he's not necessarily there. He's like your guidance. You have Jibanyan. You're going to get your friend Hydabat over here. This is very much looking like Blasters, so very excited for that. So Hydabat's on board. You can give Hydabat a nickname if you want to, like you always could have. So yeah, and Hydabat is definitely going to be a ranger too. So you're going to be walking around over here. There's going to be some NPC cats. You can pick up an item off the ground, and you'll be able to see all sorts of stuff. So picking up the items, he just picked up like some sort of wafers item, which is another food item. So this is kind of giving us another idea that we saw at least 3 different food items in the game. Who knows if it's going to be health restoring or if it's going to be befriending fodder. So now all of the yokai are lined up right outside the Crankikai over here because apparently the Crankikai has a brand new yokai watch. And all the yokai are just kind of waiting in line to crank it to see if they can get the brand new watch. So that's what Sanma is over here. You guys saw Sanma. I think Ruffraff was over there. Mochismo is here. Your average, like, flagship yokai, your low ranks are going to be over there. I think I saw the Dancing Trio 10 out of 10 were there too. So, yeah, this is exactly what's going on. Now, there's going to be a little bit of conflict over here because these Baku are cutting in line and they're forcing everyone to fall asleep. And Manjamut's over there trying to, like, stand up to them. But you can see that they already put no way to sleep. And they're just like, yo, we're just going to cut in line and we're going to put you all to sleep. So Wallcappa's asleep. Manjamut's asleep. I don't know. That's Dimmy? Dimmy's asleep over there. So that looks pretty great. So now you're going to have to put a stop to these 3. And yeah, no cuts, no butts, no coconuts, dude. You can't even do it. Don't even do that. So the game also shows you that in case you don't want to be a watcher, you can be your yokai. So you can simply switch from over there. I love this concept. It's really great. So especially if you guys like blasters, Yokai Watch blasters or busters too. This is exactly it. So we can switch over to Hydabat. You can throw some of those homing orbs, which is the Y button over there. You can pretty much charge it and then let it go, and then it just kind of homes in. So pretty cool. Right over here, switching to Jibanyan, you can see that Jibanyan has like infinite, I think he's got infinite scratches. Right? I'm kind of looking at this. Yeah, you got infinite scratches. It doesn't use any of your Y points. So you can keep on pressing the Y button to do your triple attack. And then if you press the X button, you can do the little uppercut. So this is pretty much the moveset that we've seen from Jibanyan in all of the different psychic blasters kind of a deal. So yeah, really cool. So you guys can see over here that you're going to level up. You're going to get so much experience, 28 experience. You're going to get so much yen, whatever currency is in the game. And it looks good. So you beat up the Baku. There's the Crankikai over there. And now the Baku are gone. They're going to give in. And typically in the Yokai Watch games, you get an auto befriend of a Baku. So yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen over here. So as soon as you beat them, you're going to get one of them to join you. So they give you their Yokai medal, and now you have a Baku on your team. Looking pretty cool. Baku. Yeah, I like this yokai. Like a little absorption kind of yokai. Yeah, Baku's good. Anywho, so now that we've done that, we have access to the Crankikai. So you can see over here that you can equip items and everything like that. You go talk to Sanma, and ultimately we're going to see that we can, pretty much go to the front of the line soon. So let's see. Oh, we're not going to cut. No, we're going to actually wait our turn. So it looks like everyone was just like cranking. I thought Nate was totally going to like cut everyone after that. Like, yo, I saved you guys. Let me just get in. So no, that's not the case at all. So right over here, Nate is going to go to this is the old Crankikai, right? This is the Crankikai that he first cranked out Whisper. So he's familiar with it. It's not brand new. So he's going to crank out a capsule, and you guys can see over here, it's a gray top, so that's not really that great. But of course, you're going to get a mystery key. And the mystery key, look at look at Jibanyan, he's like, whoa, what is that thing? So this is a mystery key, and you guys can see the coloration on it, kind of looks like a yokai watch. It looks like something special that we may have or may not have seen from promotional material. But nonetheless, this mystery key, Nate doesn't really know what's going on with it. So it starts to glow in his hand, and then this glowing turns into Navi Wolf, or Naviwan as we kind of knew his name. So this is Navi Wolf, pretty cool, right? So Navi Wolf comes out, and you can see that every little step that Navi Wolf takes is going to be a little pathway that you can follow along. So this is pretty much your guide. In the previous Yokai Watch games, there was like a little arrow that would constantly guide you to where you needed to go on your quest, and this is exactly what that kind of has evolved into. So you can see Naviwan over here, and Naviwan does not appear on the lower mini-map, which is kind of interesting, but nonetheless, you should be fine. So Navi Wolf brings you all the way to this door, and we've seen these doors in the previous promotional material. These are the gateway doors that allow Nate to travel to the 4 different worlds. And then out comes a gigantic Hungramps. This is the Shadow Side version. Now, Shadow Side takes place about like 30 years into the future, where Nate and Katie are married. They have 2 kids. And that's like the whole Shadow Side arc of Yokai Watch. The anime, you can watch the episodes online. But nonetheless, this is pretty scary though. Like, I don't think I remember seeing this guy. And it's super scary that you can see Hungramps looking like, you know, a little piece of rice. And then this thing with a gigantic mouth, dude. I thought Hungorge was scary. No, this thing though. Totally crazy. I can see why like the little kids, like the younger audiences, didn't really like Shadow Side that much, but anyway, so he's got some age spots on his head. Oh man, and Jibanyan's just gonna go and beat him up. So this is pretty interesting. So you're gonna bring your entire team plus Baku, which is cool. So you get this auto befriend Baku, and now it shows you about the Great Orb or G status. Which we've seen in Yokai Watch Blasters before, where, you know, if you get this G orb that flies around, you can get it and you're going to be super strong. So how you activate that is pressing the A and the X button, but nonetheless, you can see that all the other Yokai Watch little mascots are just attacking it, while the players are choosing to just knock them out with the hammer stuff. So you can hit them while they're down, which is kind of cool, so they don't necessarily have invincibility frames when they're knocked downwards. And it doesn't look like there's a penalty for hitting them while they're kind of unconscious on the ground. Typically in other games, like when they're unconscious, you'll do like half damage, but it doesn't seem that way in this game. So Jibanyan just did like a Pause of Fury in order to knock him out. And like you guys can see all sorts of different like color orbs that were like falling off of him. So I don't know if that's going to be necessarily health, or it's just going to help build up a G meter or anything like that. So I'm very curious to see what those little orbs do. But you can see over here that this is the light side Hungramps, which is more along the lines of the same shape, but a little different looking. So I'm very curious to see all the different 3D models of the Yokai Watch Shadow Side and Light Side versions of different ones. I can't wait until we meet like Shadow Side Jibanyan. That'd be really cool. Like what happens when Jibanyan and Shadow Side Jibanyan meet? Oh, that'd be so good. Or like Kuroi Jibanyan, like the black Jibanyan. I'm not talking about like Nekomata, but anyway, I hope he makes it in the game too. That would be really cool. So now Nate, after, you know, he celebrates the victory, he holds up the mystery key up to the gate, and then the portal opens up. And now this portal is going to be able to take Nate to wherever it goes, which is kind of interesting. Like, are we going to go back in time to Shin's world? Are we going to go to the Yokai world with Lord Enma, or what's left of him? Or, of course, as we peer inside here, like Jibanyan just kind of walks in. We've already seen this little cutscene before, where Nate just comes in, and this is Springdale 30 years in the future, which is kind of cool. I think this is possibly like Gourd Pond area. I see some like gourd-shaped stuff. Who knows? But yeah, this is 30 years into the future from what I've seen, and now they're just kind of curious, like, what the heck is going on? Like, who is here? And then like now they look behind them, and then their door to the way back to their home has been sealed, and it's been stoned. Okay, so now of course we're getting this like droopy goop like all over each other, and they're just wondering like what the heck is going on. And of course Whisper, he's like, yo, hey, look behind you. He's like, not now, Whisper. Like, oh, come on, boom, right there, out of nowhere, Slimemander completely eats Whisper. Whisper goes through the digestive tract and then gets spit out. We've seen that before. Gets spit out of the other head. So now it's a battle of all of your 3 yokai and your 1 watcher versus Slimemander Big Boss. So this is cool. I really enjoy it. One of the things that I think is rush development is the fact that when the camera, of course, you can use the twin sticks. You can use 1 stick to kind of move the camera around, and then 1 stick to move your character. And you'll notice that, you know, when they're kind of playing and the camera is inside Slimemander, Slimemander disappears off screen, like this right here. Like, I think that's sloppy development, and I think it's going to be pretty lackluster. So I really hope that they fix that by the time the build happens, because you'll notice that in this gameplay that if that camera is end up like behind your boss, you can't really see where it is. And if you're aiming a soul ultimate move, you might miss it because you think the boss is over here, but it's not. Anyway, so we're going to get rescued by the Shadow Side crew. This is Natsume, Akinori, and Toma. Natsume is Nate's daughter, and Toma and Akinori, they're part of the crew as well. So go watch the Shadow Side movie, go watch the series, and then you'll be able to know exactly who they are and what they do. So anyway, they're here to save the day, and what's really cool about this is now that you've done that, you're going to see that Natsume is kind of healing and at the same time giving more Y points to Jibanyan and all the other characters. So what's kind of interesting about this, and I'm touching base about this battle system, I love the battle system. It's exactly like Blasters, where you see where they're going to attack, but you'll notice that Slimeamander is going to be moving all around the place. So of course it's natural for you guys to want to move your camera in order to see it. And like this right here, like you don't know where you're kind of attacking, you have to kind of turn around. I don't know, it's an interesting design choice, and maybe it's an oversight, but I really hope that they fix that. But anyway, you'll see over here that Jibanyan keeps on going, and you don't know what's kind of happening, so dude's getting hit left and right by all these different attacks because you can't really see what's up. And yeah, you're going to be moving around. Jibanyan's Sultan meter is just about filled. You can see that around his little icon. It's almost filled up so that he can use a Sultimate. So he's taking some damage right over this way, and of course you have the ability to dodge too. So anyway, so Jibanyan's meter is almost full. Now it's full. You can see that little shine happen, and then now he goes Great Orb by pressing A and X. Now you'll notice over here that you're kind of aiming towards Slimeamander, but you can't really see where he was, and therefore the player missed that entire Great Orb Ultimate because the camera was inside Slimeamander. So I could foresee that being a little bit of a battle problem, but we'll see. I don't remember that being too much of an issue in Blasters. I would really have to go back to Blasters and see what kind of camera issues they had there. But nonetheless, here's hoping that it gets fixed. Or, you know, this is just my first impressions on like an actual like battle. So, I mean, it's interesting. So switching over to Baku over here, doing a little bit of chip damage. Kind of cool. You can see that Nate is giving some Y points to Natsume. Natsume is giving Y points to another yokai. So, interesting. So that was the very first boss battle. That's not too bad. So, yeah, pretty interesting. So very first boss battle, you're going to get a boatload of experience. 36 experience, and you got little sprites bouncing up and down. You got 160 Y money. And now it's time for everyone to celebrate, which is pretty fun. So you guys can see over here that Natsume is like, whoa, dang, you got a yokai watch. Oh my gosh, wait, I got a yokai watch. Does that mean, like, are you, like, what? Are you my dad? So she thinks that Nate is her dad already. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then they go into the actual intro of Gara Gara Po. So, ladies and gents, that's it. That's it for the gameplay video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed the narration that I brought on board. Shoutouts again to Hikakin Games for playing. I think that was really cool. And it's great that Level 5 was able to put Yokai Watch in the hands of one of Japan's biggest YouTubers. So, super awesome for that one. If you guys didn't already subscribe to them, please do so. Hit that subscribe button here so that you guys are updated on the latest and greatest Yokai Watch content. We still have to do a little bit more research on what else is happening as far as Yokai Watch 4 news. Every time some news drops on it, you guys know that I will be here with some more information. We got the Koro scans for you guys to look forward to. I'll get that all done very soon. And of course, I want you guys to be here when we play this game, when it comes out. We'll be playing it day one, non-stop. It'll be so much fun. So let me know what you guys thought of the gameplay. If there were any details that were not discussed, please let me know in the comments. Can't wait to read all of your comments right down below. So that's going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.